أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
Over 340 residents of the Rendille community in Kambinye sub-location in Marsabit County have reverted to Islam in masses. The reversion ceremony was organized by the area Member of Parliament, Honorable Malimo Arbele, with other Daawah groups.
I have also actually spoken to my Muslim brothers that it has always been very hard actually to make people become Muslims, although many of them have been willing to become Muslims when they are in a concentrated area like Kargi. The fact that this village has moved away from a concentrated area, we have actually spoken to the elders and even the mothers, and they have told me that we want to become Muslims. And therefore, I decided to also involve our brothers from Nairobi, and also we have our brothers from Marsabit County.
Today we are having 344 people taking the Shahada en masse.
It's very, very important because we are bringing these people into the religion and we want to make sure that they stay there. So we have to have something long-term. So they're not just converted for the day, but they will carry on and they will carry on learning. Their children and their generations will be born into this religion. And we are raising awareness to people that this is part of what Mountain of Mercy is doing. And we are collaborating with Daawah Caravan. And we are very, very pleased to have them take us aboard and work with us.
The Rendille community, who practices a traditional religion, animal sacrifices, and other worship of ancestral spirits, have also religious practices that resemble those of Islam. A large number of men, women, and children took their Shahada, and this was witnessed by the Daawah Caravan group from Nairobi.
I'm here today as part of a mission, an important Daawah mission. It's called the Daawah Caravan. We are here in Marsabit County, specifically in Laisamis, in a place called Ulaula. Ulaula is the villages around here. As you can see, it's a remote village, pastoral village of the Rendille community of northern Kenya. This whole program has been coordinated over a period of time by different individuals and organizations, some within the country and some abroad. The essence of this mission is to bring solace, peace with themselves and peace with the environment and peace with their Creator through Islam, through taking the Shahada of Islam, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to testify that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one who is worthy of worship, and that Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, is the messenger of Allah.
The mass reversion event was organized by the area Member of Parliament, the Daawah Caravan from Nairobi, the Mountain of Mercy, a UK-based charity organization that provides support to victims of natural disasters and those that are living below the poverty line in the most vulnerable positions, and the Warga Chana organization.
Mountain of Mercy is all about helping the people who are affected with natural disasters. Like we started when the tsunami happened in Sri Lanka in 2004-2005, and we established, and that's when we started supporting the widows and the homeless, build a few houses and water wells. So we mostly try and provide food parcels, water wells wherever needed, and we try and mostly also try and enable programs so we can support them to start earning themselves. So then they are not relying on food all the time, because we can give them food today and then tomorrow again they're just waiting. So it's better that we can give them something that they can start supporting themselves. We have been working in Kenya for the last 10 years, started with Dadaab when there was a drought in Somalia side. Sending food packs. We prefer to give a lot of water, food, but also sustainable programs as I mentioned.
And actually, I also would like to recognize some of our Muslim brothers who have been of great importance to support this program, namely the Daawah Caravan, Kenya, then a Mountain of Mercy from UK, who have actually distributed quite a huge number of food stuff here. there is also a Muslim organization called Warga Chagna, who have also distributed hard copies of the Quran. So I want to extend my appreciation to the two organizations. And the door is wide open for any other Muslim brother who will feel that he wants to chip in to come and help their Muslim brothers. Actually, in Garissa, I said that Rendilles are Rerdon. Usually, we are being referred to as Rerdid, the word Rendille, meaning Rerdid, yani people who have disassociated themselves from their people. Now, I am using another terminology which is Rerdon, meaning we want to go back to our people, the Somalis, because we are Somalis, we are a Cushitic community. Originally, we came from Somalia region. And therefore, unfortunately, it is the other way around. The Rendilles are the Rerdon, and the Somalis are the Rerdit. Quite opposite.
The most important thing is all 100% of the money that we receive goes to the needy. All our team, from the trustees, the CEOs, till the people working on the ground, are all working on voluntary basis. We don't have an office anywhere because it's going to cost us overhead charges. We avoid that. So we are all working from our own places, relevant residence or wherever. We have got a representative in Kenya who does all our work as well. Her name is Yasmin and her husband Imran. We have held events over there as well to raise money for Gaza, Yemen, we do in Syria, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, to name a few countries, and Kenya, of course. We want to do a lot of work in Kenya, and we want to work very closely with Daawah Caravan, because we really loved the project of bringing people back to Islam or bringing people into the Deen, and we would like to help them to establish and make more people aware of Daawah Caravan and Mountain of Mercy and bringing more people into the religion.
The community received clothes including kanzus for men, hijabs for women, with over 200 food packages including maize flour donated by the Mountain of Mercy charity organization. The Warkachana also donated Quran copies.
I'd like to also acknowledge two organizations called Mountain of Mercy. It's a UK-based charity. It is the one that has provided the food rations that we're distributing today. They are also providing, through that same organization, is providing clothing in terms of hijabs and abayas for the ladies, and hijabs and kanzus, okay, khamis for them, and kafiyas for the men and the youth.
To the people of Marsabit, welcome to Islam. We are very happy to have our brothers and sisters in Marsabit, and we hope that we can do a lot more for them. And people in Kenya, please support Mountain of Mercy and the Daawah Caravan, because it is something very fulfilling to see 340 people convert to Islam in one go. It's amazing. It's amazing. So please do support us, and they will see the fruits of this, not in this dunya, but in the akhirah as well, inshallah.
The Rendille are a Cushitic-speaking ethnic group inhabiting the northern eastern province of Kenya, and traditionally they are nomadic pastoralists.
Yeah, the village normally, most of the traditional villages in Marsabit County are basically built in a manner so that the door of the hut is always facing west. Most of these people are Cushite, Borana, Gabra, Rendille, we have Sakuye, Konso, and other communities. And basically they are nomads and pastoralists. Rendille basically are camel-keeping people. They also keep a few goats and sheep or shoats. And where the climate allows, like on Mount Kulal and maybe around Gurunet and Oldonia Nero, they also keep some cattle. But basically, their culture and everything is based around the camel.
The Rendille community, which I'm part and parcel of, and the fact that I'm a Muslim, I also have a duty, a responsibility to convey the word of Islam to Laisami's constituents so that they may be able to benefit from the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through knowledge. Actually, it has been a while. I've always been praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in my daily prayers that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be able to guide the Rendille community to become Muslims. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly stated in the Quran, وَلَا تَمُنْتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. That alone will make your hair stand. If you are a Muslim and you find your non-Muslim brother, be it a Rendille or from any other part of this country or even the world, who happens to perish when that person has not uttered the kalima, La ilaha illallah. So which means I understand as a Muslim the consequences ahead for such a person is grievous. And therefore, I've always been taking my individual effort to ensure that at least I have tried to speak to my community members if they can become Muslims. However, in that effort, I have also actually spoken to my Muslim brothers, like our brother who is here today with us, that it has always been very hard actually to make people become Muslims, although many of them have been willing to become Muslims when they are in a concentrated area like Kargi.
The community lives in manyatas that are built closely to each other facing one direction, the west.
The doors face west because there is a lot of wind. These areas are very open. As you can see, they are sparsely populated, and the wind is quite often very, very strong. And in fact, Marsabit County is blessed with the strongest wind blowing in the world, actually. And the lake, the Royangalani Lake Turkana, the windmill there was built because we have some of the strongest winds within the world, actually. So our county is blessed with that, so we have very strong winds, and that is why the doors mostly face west, so that the winds don't interfere with the people inside the hut, particularly with the fire and so on. That is basically the main reason. But I personally feel also in the evening, when the sun is setting in the west, then normally there will be some bit of twilight until it gets fairly dark, and that might help them as well.
The community has a very rich history, and according to the available information, they were Muslims, but as the generations went by, Islam disappeared along the way, and today they have gone back to their original religion.
These people have been originally Muslim. They have been largely, if you listen to their language and you look at their features, these people have been from the Somali community, okay? But they have been separated generations, many generations, and in the process they lost their faith and part of their culture. And you know, with intermarriage and immigration, they have intermarried with other people, Samburus and other communities. So that's why they themselves have sought to come back home to their original faith. And that's why we are here. And their leaders are taking a role. And Islam is increasingly becoming of interest to the Rendille community. So that's why we're here. They're basically, it's a renaissance among the Rendille community, which is inherently Muslim. Now they are basically, a lot of them are doing their own cultural practices, which have been acquired over time, okay? But their original culture was Islam.
The members of this community moved here 1 month ago, and this was not their usual migration, but this time round, cancer was threatening to kill all of them.
Changamoto sana ile ilifanya hii manyata ilihame kutoka Kargi na ikuja hapa ni shida ya kansa. Hii manyata is 68 households. Wako na kina mama ni 68. Wazee ni 43. Watoto vijana ni 152. Wasichana ni 81. Pahali tulihama, hii settlement ya hii manyata kawaida, wakaa muda fulani hapo, ikifika ceremony fulani, inaitwa Sorio, alafu almado ikiingia, watu wana shift from the normal site, to go to new site, ndio wafanye hiyo ceremony ya almado. Almadu ni seremoni moja, watu na mali yote, busi yote inakuja nyumbani, watu wanasherekea, wana kamua maziwa, wase wanakaa center of the village mahali inaitwa Nabo. They do their prayers, kuomba Mwenyezi Mungu kunyesha na vitu mingi. Sasa penye tulihama, imanya tulihama, in fact tumepotesha watu wengi sana, more than 10 to 11 people because of cancer, mainly throat cancer and stomach cancer, na inaletwa na maji. So maji ya huko penye ilipimwa walisema hata haifai hata wanyama, wacha binadamu. Maji ni mbaya sana. In fact maji ile sahi Kargi inategemea ni maji imechimbwa 8 kilometers juu ya lava, mawe kama hizi juu. That flat land ya chini, maji hapa juu ikienda kujoin na ile maji ya land ya huko chini inakuwa contaminated. So watu kwa sababu ya shida wakarelocate this site. Sasa hapa tulipokuja tulipima maji mahali mingi sana na maji tumekosa.
Despite the efforts by the area member of parliament, Honorable Arubele, to ensure his people can live in a comfortable life, they still face a number of challenges.
Well, basic challenges are, of course, grazing for their animals and, of course, water. These are the basically the most challenging issues they face. Of course, during the rains and after rainy season, it becomes green, very green immediately. It will be surprising that even if it rains for 1 or 2 days, everything turns green within 3 or 4 days. It's like a miracle. Everything just turns green. So during rains, things are very nice. People are very happy, plenty of milk and plenty of grazing. But normally during the dry season, they face a lot of challenges because they have to shift the village from time to time in search of pastures and in search of water. And of course, these days, unfortunately, security is also a concern. Intertribal rustling is becoming quite common and is really one of the reasons basically behind the shifting of Manyatas to safer areas.
Hapa watu walihamia watoto yote, hakuna shule. In fact, this is the classes. Hii miti mbili in the classes. Watoto wanasomea chini ya miti. Matibabu tunategemea Marsabit ama hula. Kwa sababu hapa hakuna health center. Atiko village nyingine pia Kambinye iko mbele yenu mulipita. Hapa yote hata ngine iko hapa chini. Wote wanategemea, iko Galdela Pandi, iko Gabana Pandi, wote wale Pandi wanategemea Marsakargi Health Center. Wale hai Manyata mbili ambayo iko hapa karibu, hawa wanategemea hula ama mainly Marsabit tu.
The MP has called on Muslims across the country to come and help the community who have taken Islam as their religion to ensure that Daawah is spread across all the remaining Manyatas.
We rely on our donors. We don't have any other income. So we have put an appeal and we hope that we can get a good response, and we will try and sort some food packs for them as well, so they can have some food to at iftar and suhoor when they open their fast or when they want to close their fast. So we are working on that.
One time, I did actually say I was invited to go to a place called Balambala in Garissa. And it is there that I said to my Muslim brothers over there that indeed the Rendille community, many people have very little knowledge about the Rendille community. The Rendille community have been Muslims. This is evidenced by their cultural practices which they practice today. For instance, if it is like the month of Ramadan, they know it is the month of Ramadan. If it is the month of when Udhiyah is conducted, they actually slaughter Udhiyah on the same time with the Muslims' calendar. So their calendar, the Rendille calendar runs concurrently with the Islamic calendar. Therefore, Rendilles have actually, even they make adhan. But you see, we have never had people who are so much dedicated to take up this responsibility, to make this responsibility their own, to ensure this message reaches to the Rendille community. Unfortunately, they don't practice Islam. What they practice today is something which is not Islam, but they are traditionalists by nature.
There were fears of what will happen to the community after they all became Muslims with no one around to guide them on the way of performing the daily prayers.
They say Rome was not built in a day. Everything requires baby steps. I don't imagine that just because people have become Muslims here, tomorrow we will see a story building of a mosque. No, that's not the way to go. But what we are trying to do is to be able to get somebody who will be able to accompany these people on their, to guide them, to encourage them, because you are removing them from their daily livelihood, which they are used to a different model of practice, which is, you have to make wudu all the time, you have to use istinja, you have to go, like that. So definitely we'll be able to have somebody through our brother.
We would love to build a madrasa or a mosque over there, so at least for the place where they can go for place of study, and it will be a mosque and a madrasa, so that during the salah times, obviously they can go and pray, and madrasa that even the children, the women, the men can go and learn something, education, learn their religion. So that is one of the things we really love to do, and we want to try and provide water for them, which is a very, very essential need, and we really love giving water.
Today, the residents enjoy a continued supply of water in the area where getting water is a hassle.
The fact that the pastoralist community are communities which keep on moving from one place to another in search of water and pasture, I have dedicated this lorry that some communities with children, some animals which are very weak, they cannot walk, then they are actually transported using this lorry. And sometimes people actually even travel in search of water and pasture. They go all the way to Baragoi, the neighboring county. And they go also to the farthest point on this side, to the next border, which is Wajir. So you can imagine, while they are in wilderness over there, they need food for the human beings also, and even water. So what would normally happen is this lorry will go, ferry people from that particular location to some centers where food is available, or they can even, actually we carry even the animals in this lorry to go and sell in some market. Then they buy their food stuff and I transport them back. Equally, I've also dedicated a water bowser, which, for instance, this Manyata, you have seen there are 2 plastic tanks of 10,000 liters each. What happens is, it supplies both here and the entire constituency.
The Rendille community, who have reverted to Islam, reside in Marsabit County, the largest county in Kenya.
These areas, the northern areas, those were colonial times, and these areas, what you call the northern areas, were referred to as NFD, Northern Frontier District, and they included all the northern parts of Kenya, like, for example, Lamu, Tana River, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, Moyale, Isiolo, Samburu, and I guess also Baringo and maybe Turkana, Kapenguria. I think most of those areas were referred to as, and those years, they were restricted areas. By that I mean that anybody from what we refer to as down country, the remaining parts of the Kenya, was not able to just come in and visit these areas. Neither were the inhabitants of these areas able to move freely to what we refer to as the rest of the Kenya or down Kenya.
Salma Salim, Horizon reports.